and a brand new show. Welcome to Backstage 360. Later on, I'll have a chat with Leonard Podolak. And if that name sounds familiar, well, yes, he was the frontman for the Ducks, a Juno Award-winning band. And his father, Mitch, was also the founder of the Winnipeg Folk Festival and Kids Fest. We'll find out what he's been up to. And later on in the show, Backstage Beautiful will focus on a bracelet that will empower all of you on that diet regime for the new year. And coming up, I will have an interview with the Grande Dame of Contemporary Dance here in Winnipeg, Stephanie Ballard. But right now, a dance troupe is exploring the human behavior stimulated by a world of technology.
This is our inaugural project of an unincorporated collective, new one called Collective Core, and that's 3 members, James Phillips from Montreal, myself from Winnipeg, and Lise McMillan, who's also based here in Manitoba, living in Steinbach at the moment. We all went through school at the same time, and we're working through dance and movement research to create new contemporary dance works for Manitoba and beyond. Our inaugural project is called CPA, Consistent Partial Attention, and this is a term that was coined from Linda Stone, who worked for Microsoft, and talks about sort of how our manner of living in a screen-obsessed world where we're always monitoring our devices and sort of never fully attending to one task at a time. So the simultaneity of our processes today. And I also just, when thinking about that concept, thought, it's very close to sometimes what position we're put in as a performer, attending to our intuition, our liveness in the moment, but also being aware of being observed, and also aware of the expectations put upon us in terms of spacing, where we're supposed to be, that our costumes fitting, you know, like there's all these multiple layers of consciousness that occur in the liveness.
One of the great things about contemporary dance is that we get to talk about the world we live in today. I mean, we're not looking at old stories about people that don't exist anymore or issues that don't make sense. We're actually talking about things that are going on today.
The entire performance is based off a score, off screens for the performers, and the videos that are on the screens are all originally from web dances that people did and posted online in the private space of their home. So they're sort of very candid, improvised, impulsive dances, and we work to sort of embody them and engage with them as performers.
Switch.
It forced me to question performance a lot and what it is to perform. I think I'm very used to performing in a specific way of connecting with an audience, making the eye contact. Even if I can't actually see them, I like to think that I'm making eye contact and projecting or emoting to audience members. And then in this work, there's not a single moment where you get to do that. It's simply myself and the monitor, or myself and the screen that we are looking up to, and we're just focused entirely on catching every detail we can from that and putting it into our body and translating it. And that's what the audience gets to witness, as opposed to them witnessing us delivering a story or a message or a concept to them.
I try to elicit through the work that the spectator is in a position where they start asking questions about their own relationship to media, their role as a spectator, their relationship to dance in the everyday. So not so much a political platform or perspective from me saying you need to get this from the work, but hopefully inciting reflection in the viewer.
sometimes you don't have to go too far to find treasure. Sometimes it's right beside you or in your own backyard. Stephanie Ballard, you have been an icon and a mentor for so many dancers in our community and internationally. And I am so happy that I actually just have time to spend with you and let everybody else know the wonderful things that you've brought to our city and continue to do so. So first and foremost, thank you, what you've done for dance here.
Well, thank you, Tracy. It's an honor to be here, to be with you, who I followed as a dancer. And once a dancer, always a dancer, no matter what you do with your career. So I'm very proud of you and what you've done. It's fantastic.
Well, you know, I did a little reading about you because I thought I knew who Stephanie Ballard was, but I didn't realize you are actually American. And at a very young age, you were already doing your own pageants. So I can see where all the choreography and the ideas come from.
Well, it's true. I was born in the United States and born in San Francisco and raised in San Francisco and Los Angeles, but I came here quite young age. I followed a man who came to the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, and I came and he arranged for me to have an audition with Rachel Brown. So I became an apprentice with the Winnipeg's contemporary dancers, and I also became very friendly with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. The two of us would go to each other's company parties and company performances, and it was a really wonderful time because then there was not such a mixture of the ballet company and the modern dance company. Now we call it more contemporary dance, but at the time we were calling it modern dance back in the 70s.
Yes,
Yeah.
and two very special people played very important roles in your life. Rachel Brown was one, and the late, great Arnold Spohr.
Yes, I really believe I was just in the right place at the right time, because I still pinch myself in terms of the relationships I had with both Arnold Spohr and Rachel Brown, and the relationship I continue to have with them, really reminding people of their greatness and of their strength and their passion and what it really took to start companies and to put companies on the map. Literally, they both did. Arnold did it in a very international way, and Rachel did it more in a national way, but we did go to New York, and we did go to Jacob's Pillow. So I've always been so proud of Winnipeg because I learned from the best, and these were very, very strong people. So it's lovely to have a background of a very strong man and a very strong woman. And if there was no Arnold, there'd be no Rachel, because after all, she did start with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet and then moved on to start a contemporary company, but she wouldn't have been able to do it without Arnold.
Right.
Because he really helped her tremendously, and they would actually share choreographers once in a while. That was his generosity to her, and because we could never afford, well, we did eventually, but at the very beginning, we could not afford to have a choreographer come just on their own. Someone like Norbert Wiesack, who did fantastic things for the Royal Winnipeg Ballet and many other companies, but he came, he made a piece for the Royal Winnipeg, and then we could afford to keep him on and have him make a new work for us.
That's fabulous. You don't see a lot of that anymore these days. And if we fast forward now to what you do, the Winnipeg Dance Initiative, and you've been such an advocate for dance and getting it out there, the word out there, that movement of any kind, and being able to express yourself.
Yeah.
Really is beautiful.
Working as an advocate, which I always have, but more so now that I'm older, I have the time to do it, and I love it. I'm passionate about it. I work with Dance Collection Dance in Toronto, Amy Bowering and Miriam Adams, and the great late Lawrence Adams, who started that fantastic facility. There's this real love and respect for our mentors, for our archives. You really need to know where you came from in order to know where you're going to go. And young people these days don't get enough of that. It's ironic, because you think, oh, you know, when I'm teaching a course, a legacy course, for instance, I just say, Google it. You know, but I don't ever know if they do. I think sometimes they do, but maybe not. So it's very important for me to be able to present, say, through the legacy course, realities to them that are meaningful and that keep their attention and capture their passion. And so far, so good. And we're very lucky at our professional program at the School of Contemporary Dancers to be affiliated with the University of Winnipeg. So our dancers can actually train for 4 years and get a BA with honors in dance. And that's coming a long way from when Rachel first just started apprentices. And Faye and Odette just got the Order of Canada for that very reason, for really pushing the envelope on a professional program.
That's so amazing. And if I can kind of ask your opinion now, when you were a dancer and you went on stage, and of course there's the whole thing, once a dancer's on stage, everything, you know, tunes away, they're in their own world, and you know, they become one with the stage. But if you truly kind of look at today's dancer, it's all about being the triple threat. It's all about how high you can jump, how many turns you can do, to have the perfect body.
I think it's very, very challenging now. And
It is.
I'm glad that we can still work in our professional program on that level of passion. And I know that the Royal Winnipeg Ballet works very hard to produce dancers and allow them and give them that same passion. I mean, I think you have the passion or you don't, but you need to be supported and you need to be nurtured. And I think all of the competition is very problematic for all of us. And I think we should be having competitions about who is the most respectful dancer, who knows how to talk about creativity, instead of these really pushing the envelope competitions that are going on. At the same time, they're here to stay.
Yes.
And we need to embrace them. And I'm very supportive of our Manitoba Dance Festival and the fact that we have tried through the director, Nicole Owens, and all of the people involved on the board or committees to embrace competition, but to really know that that's not what it's all about. Yes. And the love of dance and the passion of dance, which is really unique to Winnipeg. I mean, we are the oldest modern dance company, the oldest professional ballet company, and then there's Folklorama, which is unheard of, you know, really in North America. I know it's the largest dance and music festival. So Winnipeg is really, really unique, and we need to own it more.
We certainly do. Stephanie, I mean, when Arnold passed, it was like a legacy had gone, but you were so close to him. What did he instill in you, and maybe what part of you is pushing Arnold still within our dance culture?
I guess the first thing that comes to me is passion. The man never stopped, and you know, he was, how do you say that, cantankerous?
Oh, yeah.
And in some ways very controversial, but he had such a love of people. Mm-hmm. He loved dance, but he loved the dancers, and he loved the staff. Mm-hmm. He loved all the people. Oh, he loved Dougie Bear and the road crew. You know, he was so in touch with every aspect. And I think that's what's difficult now, because there are just so many new challenges for all of our companies. And I think Andre is really continuing to try and push the envelope. It's tough times for a lot of people all over the country right now. But we're in big transition, with the transition with the Canada Council, with our different arts councils, finding new ways to connect and to really identify what it is that we need to do. Every generation has their own thing they need to do. And ours is difficult because of all the technology.
So is that your goal? To find out exactly what we need to do?
Yes, and I do think that with Andre and with Brent Lott and WCD, I do believe everybody's got their thinking caps on and they're moving maybe a little slowly, but definitely moving in new directions. And we have the young Peter Quantz,
Yes.
who has done amazing things. I just went to Edmonton to see him do his opening night with the Chinese company, the Wuxi Chinese company. And it was phenomenal. It was at the big Jubilee Auditorium. There were 2,000 people. It was sold out.
Amazing.
Yeah. So there's like a next generation. There's my goddaughter, Kathleen Hiley. There's Robin, who's going to be doing a show with Ted Robinson and Susie Burpee. So I really do feel that the next generation is starting to really take off.
Oh, well, all thanks due to help from you. You have been a godsend, and
It's an honor.
well, no, we honor you. Thank you so much, Stephanie Ballard.
Thank you, Tracy.
Please come over. I keep thinking and it makes me wonder.
It's dancers and much more with Bab Jungle on Electric City.
Free to be a jerk and a mentor.